welcome in to episode 1 of the Radioactive Papercuts. Joining me today is a podcaster, a stand-up, a god amongst men, my best friend, my brother, host of the Don't Argue with Idiots podcast, Darius Walker.
Thank you, Josh. I'm very honored to be on this podcast and be on the very first episode at that. I'm just ecstatic.
I'm excited to have you on here. We did an episode, I think it was episode 7 of the Don't Argue with Idiots podcast, and the dairy-free episode 2?
Yes.
Yes, so if you want to hear more conversations with ourselves and Diddy, Sean, he's on there as well. But let's hop into it. Kind of what I'm going for on this podcast is just overall talking nerd stuff. It doesn't necessarily have to be superheroes, but just anything in the nerd realm, from maybe you're a big Matrix fan, Lord of the Rings, superheroes, anything in the realm, that's what we're going to try and focus on. So I got a few questions here. We're going to answer them up and run on the conversation. You ready for this?
I am ready. I'm buckling up.
All right. Question number 1. What hero means the most to you and why?
See, initially when thinking about that, I would have to say it's a tie between Superman and also Black Panther.
Okay.
One, for Superman, it always meant that had this ability to show restraint. He's all powerful and he has these morals. And the thing is, he always pulls his punches.
He does,
because he could just obliterate.
He can wreck people. That's a fact. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little hurt because I've always been the Batman fan of my family. You're within lines with my younger brother Adam, who I am going to get on this podcast here soon. He'll kill it as well. You guys are both going to tell me Superman will win in a fight, and we're not going to argue about it, though.
That's personal.
All right. So what you said Black Panther as well, though. What's that mean to you?
The big thing about Black Panther is the fact that I did not truly understand how important representation actually was. To actually see someone of African American descent on the screen, it actually meant a lot more to me. And then also the whole movement behind Black Panther that kind of really jump-started a lot of conversations.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm a big fan of Black Panther as well. It's one of my top 5 Marvel movies. It is cool to see the representation, and Marvel's gotten better and better about that most recently. They got Shang-Chi. He was a man of Chinese descent. And then they got the Eternals, which had people from all branches of life. And we finally get some sexual orientation representation as well. Loki came out as bi on the Loki TV show. And then, of course, Festos from Eternals is a gay man who's married with an adopted son. And it's really cool to see this kind of thing on screen because it's definitely important. That was kind of always a problem with superhero movies, not even because they're based on the product and the original product. It's very whitewashed. And I don't know, based on when these things started, it's weird that's how it went down, but that's exactly what happened. And I'm glad that we're finally getting to a more honest representation of society.
What do you think as far as for someone to always have seen someone that resembled you? Did you feel that ever empowered you, or do you think anything of it by chance?
See, I not sure. I always liked Batman. I'm not a rich guy, but just the idea of him being able to have these all-powerful, and seeing him represented on screen is a big part of why I enjoyed it as a child. So growing up, I liked his moves. I liked how he could talk to Alfred. I liked his sidekicks. Everything about the Batman mythos was cool. In my head, the fact that he was white was never at the forefront of my mind. It was never a thought. And that's just because I grew up, I've said on multiple podcasts, I grew up in Fremont, Michigan, which is a very white town. You've been there before.
Oh, yeah.
You know how it is. So I never thought of it before. But yeah, I guess I did kind of identify with Batman in that way. But then there's other heroes that I was a big fan of as a kid. I didn't pretend to be them so often. I think it's because I'm just so dedicated to Batman. But Jon Stewart, Green Lantern, one of my favorite heroes of all time, and he's a big deal. I've been reading up on him a lot more recently.
I'm hoping CW actually does something with that.
Yeah, they got
Diggle.
Yeah, I've been watching Batwoman, the series. I watched the first 2 seasons on Netflix, or no, HBO Max. The first season on HBO Max. First 2 seasons. Season 3 is now currently airing on CW, and that one's kind of cool because there's a black lesbian woman as Batwoman. Her sidekick is Lucas Fox, and he's the son of Lucius Fox, Luke Fox, and he's Batwing now. and Batwing's an important character from comic books. I've got a lot of deep cut knowledge on the past in DC. So when they did the New 52 reboot, they had a couple books come out. There was one called Batwing, and I forget the character's secret identity, but he was a man. He was essentially the Batman of Africa, which was kind of cool. Yeah, they did like a branch off of like Batman Incorporated, so he got different Batmans and all of.
He didn't want to be a different animal.
Because
we still gotta see a bat.
Yeah, I think it's just trying to keep the theme going. I'm not really sure what it was, but Batwing, he's essentially he's like a cross between Batman and Iron Man. So it's like it's a high tech suit, and he's got a glider on it.
So Black Panther.
Yeah, a little bit. That's the thing about comic book characters, man. Like I appreciate there's the similarities, and then like everything starts as a knockoff, and then it kind of gets developed into its own character. But yeah, that show's been really cool, and there's a lot of representation in that one as well. And Diggle showed up in an episode of Batwoman, which is why I thought of him in the first place. The whole time I watched all of Arrow all the way through. That show's actually super important to me. I've got a whole 100%. Thing. Yeah, it was a big deal for me and my dad. There was a while where we just like stay up and watch that for hours at a time during one summer, which was really cool. And I was always rooting for Diggle to be Jon Stewart because I was a big fan of the Justice League animated series. Same. Yeah, so seeing it, I was like, oh man, if they do it, and then of course they teased it at the series finale.
Well, I really hope that person, Joe John, will slowly evolve into that role because once again, just to see another African American male in a role as a hero is just great. Yeah.
Are you hip to the Zack Snyder thing for the Snyder Cut where Jon Stewart? Okay. So
it's hard to get me to sit down and watch a movie.
It's 4 hours.
And now it's gonna be even harder to get me to sit down and watch that movie.
Now this one specifically, it was like an after credit scene, and they kind of switched the roles. So they had Martian Manhunter make the appearance, so he was in multiple other projects. I'm forgetting the actor's name, but he's also a big part of Blacklist. But he kind of was the Martian Manhunter role. And then they had him cameo looking full alien Martian Manhunter in the post-credit scene of Zack Snyder's Justice League. But originally, they had filmed, they cast Jon Stewart. And they filmed a Jon Stewart to be in the post-credit scene. But it ended up being cut because DC has future plans for the Green Lantern Corps. So he's going to be a big part of it.
Yeah, hopefully it's not Ryan Reynolds. That's all I ask. he rightfully shits on it too, and I appreciate that about him.
That's the cool part about the Green Lantern Corps is there's so many different Green Lanterns. Like they're making an HBO series about lesser known guys. Kyle Rayner and Guy Gardner are both big in the Green Lantern universe, but Hal Jordan is the Ryan Reynolds role in the movie, and he's
Fuck him.
Yeah, I don't know. That movie's very bad. I'm glad that he fully acknowledges it, and it's good to see him killing it as Deadpool. So that's one thing to say.
But it's like he plays the same character, honestly, now in just every movie.
Yeah, pretty close. And they're just character actors like that nowadays. I'm still a big fan of them, but I can understand there being like you get kind of tired of them. But hey, Ryan Reynolds, he's a rich guy, he's handsome. Good for him.
His wife is also amazing.
Yeah, they actually met. I believe they met on the set of Green Lantern. Blake Lively was
love interest.
Yeah, the love interest, Star Sapphire. I forget the secret identity, but it doesn't actually matter. But she got to play that character, and I believe that's how those two met. So something good came out of that movie.
Yeah, that's the only thing I can imagine at that point.
Yeah, let's jump into question number 2 here. What brand of nerd do you deserve a PhD in?
Now, this is right now it became a more popular corner of nerd or nerdom, if we're speaking. Anime, actually. That is where I am just very knowledgeable. I can spend so much time just going back and just my favorite kind of anime, even in that, would just be it's called isekai. And that's where you have someone where they're just shut in, a recluse, and they're inside their home. And next you know, I got transported to a video game because they were someone that spent mindless time on video games. Now I got transported to a video game-like world.
Oh, that sounds interesting, actually.
The very popular one that is around would just be considered Sword Art Online. Okay. So that'd be like the very basic version of it. It's a very popular type of thing that I thoroughly enjoy the most.
Well, I'm actually super interested to hear about this just because I've always respected anime as a medium, but I've never personally gotten into it. The way I've always viewed it is it's kind of American cartoons in a different
Way
branch of society. Yeah, I mean, I've heard it's better. I mean, very rarely people say it's worse, but you know how it goes. It's a matter of opinion. But I've always had a lot of respect for anime. I've given a couple shows a shot. I watched a couple episodes of Black Butler. I enjoyed that. That's not necessarily related to what you were saying with this other branch, but honestly, if you give me a couple recs, I'll give them a go. Why not?
Definitely. The only thing I will have to admit that it's men that are doing a lot of the animations, and they are kind of creepy.
Yeah,
that is the only downside. It does get a bit creepy and a bit perverted.
That's an interesting point, because that was also a problem with censorship back in early comic books in America, and then that's kind of gotten better. It's not 100% yet. There's definitely a lot of skimpy outfits on women even nowadays, but it's nowhere near what it used to be. And from what I know, it's nowhere near anime.
It's worse. It's worse.
What is?
Just somehow skimpy things can get nowadays. There was this one, it was called Redo Healer, and it was technically in hentai at first. And
okay. So for those that don't know, that's essentially anime porn.
Basically, and then it turned it into actual show. It got banned and taken down a lot of things, but my roommate and I, we found it and we watched it together. And honestly, in the end, there was only 2 things left standing in the room.
And both of you were sitting down.
Exactly.
Fully understand where you're coming from there.
It was a nice bonding experience.
Yeah. I get it. I totally get it. That's I'm not gonna tell that story. So
I will probably.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's keep moving forward. Question number 3. Do you remember your first nerd movie? Just anything related to a nerd medium.
I hate to say it because it's not really nerdy. It's just that at the time, that's how it was looked at. So it was the first Pokemon movie, where it was against Mewtwo.
That's very cool. Yeah. I think I've spoken about this before on a separate podcast, but this is the first episode of this one, so I get to talk about whatever I want. Pokemon was banned in my household.
Oh.
Yeah. So I had a missionary grandmother, rest in peace, Granny. She wouldn't let us watch Harry Potter because of witchcraft, and Pokemon was off limits because of evolution. If you can believe that. Are you serious? Not kidding. We were not allowed to have Pokemon cards. Couldn't watch the movies. Nothing.
Evolution.
Yeah, moving from one animal to another was frowned upon by my God-fearing Granny.
Does she not like caterpillars either?
I don't know, man. I'll have to ask her when I see her again.
Oh, God, stop. Oh, my God.
Yeah, good times. But Pokemon, I've gained an appreciation for it. I downloaded Pokemon Go back when everyone else was hopped on that, and I held on to that
6 years ago.
Much longer than most people. I didn't delete it until last year. And even you could probably convince me to re-download it, honestly, if there's enough people to come around and play it. But Pokemon's solid first movie. Did you watch that at home, or was that a movie theater
experience? In the theaters.
Okay,
I used to go to the theaters all the time for Pokemon movies and Yu-Gi-Oh movies.
Yeah, movie theaters are one of my favorite pastimes by far. You said earlier today that you're not big on movies in general, just sitting and watching them, but I love it, man. If I could go to a movie every day of the week and I still had time to do other stuff, I would do it. It's just it's therapeutic for me. Everyone's quiet.
Do you think movie theater popcorn is superior?
It's superior to just regular microwave popcorn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, there's no doubt there. Yeah, I don't even mess with popcorn all that much. Every once in a while, I get it at the movies, but I like movie theater popcorn more than regular popcorn, unless there's a special microwave kind I'm not thinking of.
Well, Wesco popcorn.
Oh, Wesco. Now we talking. If you're outside of this here state of Michigan / Midwest America, Wesco's a popular gas station over here, and they salt their popcorn like madmen. That is 100% fact, but really good popcorn. I'm gonna give the edge to the movie theater still, though. Not because of the popcorn itself, but because of the options you have to put on top of it. When you go to Wesco, they don't have caramel flavor or white cheddar or nacho cheese. They don't got none of that, man.
Fair enough, but I'm just saying, that's why you have your own seasonings that they now sell everywhere. They started in the movies, but Hey,
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
who am I?
You sit there with your bougie shit. I see what you're saying.
Nah, I knew people that would drive from their home, go to the movie theater to get popcorn and go back home.
That's
and
hilarious. That's too much. No,
madness.
I don't like popcorn enough for that. Like, I like it enough. It's a nice little treat occasionally for movies, but most of the time I go to the movies, I just buy a pop that's worth, 30 cents, and then I have to pay $6. But
yeah,
it's the price we pay, man. But yeah, so that was the first one you saw in the movies. Now, do you remember who was with you at that time?
Oh, my aunt. She took me to it.
Your aunt took you there?
I was like, it was like 99, maybe 2000.
Okay,
so it was like 6.
Yeah.
So I had a real passion towards it and loved it.
And that's kind of the things that, like, it weirdly shapes you later in life. You never really realize it while it's happening, but just the heroes you idolize in movies, you're kind of like, I guess they gave me some positive qualities there. At least that's how I do it.
Never have Ash as a hero. Ash kept losing and losing. Does it mean try again? No, he just lose harder.
He's just a loser.
What? He finally just won his first league championship 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's pretty bad for going. What is it, a 30-year run now, and he's just now winning.
He's still the same age somehow.
Well, you can look to The Simpsons for that too. I don't even watch The Simpsons that heavy, but they've been around since the 80s, and they haven't aged a bit. Just like a baby Maggie or whatever. It's ridiculous. But let's go ahead. What is your favorite memory involving your nerddom, or any nerddom? It can be anything from a Comic-Con or a comic shop, or you introduce something to someone you love, anything like that. Maybe it's how you felt while you were in this particular instance.
One of my favorite memories would have to be acquiring my first Shonen Jump. So those would be basically a manga. So you'd have the comic book, and it would have a variety of animes in there, and so you could just catch up on the latest volume. So I would just have specific ones. At the time, I was watching Naruto, the first one. I was reading that. There was also the same thing with Bleach. And it's nuts because I could reread these things over and over and over again. But now, thanks to technology, I can just do it online. I just new issue, and it's once a month. And it's something I just spend 10 minutes on. And I felt I have this passion for it now. And the thing is, with just in general with anime, it's so realistic to real life, but it just gives a more visual demonstration of what we think of our thoughts. And I don't know, it's just something I'll always hold on to in Shonen Jump. And so I usually watch a lot of the shonen animes, which are the traditional ones, such as Dragon Ball Z, or a very popular one now, it's Black Clover, or Seven Deadly Sins.
One Punch Man. One is that kind of in the same vein?
That's a shonen. Yes, it is a shonen.
Okay.
So
gotcha. Very cool. That's not again. I'll glad to get a PhD in your nerddom, because I'm uneducated as far as that's concerned. Now, let's go ahead here. What type of role has your nerddom played in your life? Is it just a comfort thing, an entertainment thing? Do you have a lot of nostalgia? Did it go as far as obsession? I know in my case, I can speak just being obsessed with superheroes growing up. That was all I cared about, and even to this day, I keep up on 4 or 5 different comic books that come out every month.
It's obviously, you can tell and know it's a passion for you as well, because one, tattoos on your body.
Yep, I got plenty of tattoos. I've got a couple got a big old Nightwing one on my rib cage that is 21 needle mag just straight up the ribs. It's the only tattoo that ever hurt me, and I've got 20-ish.
And you have your podcast, Marvel podcast.
Yeah, the Marvel Stuff podcast. I'll probably bring that up here and there, just because that is my other podcast. I host that with my cousin Cody. Good guy. I just wanted a little bit more freedom to get away from Marvel stuff. That's why I'm starting this podcast up. Also, I like to swear sometimes, and I'm not allowed to on there. And
also, you're the only person I know that's still playing Justice video games.
Yeah, you're damn right. I don't play it as much anymore, but I don't know. That's a weird memory. My whole sophomore year of college, I mastered Injustice, the first one. I had over 1,000 wins online with Nightwing, and no one could touch me, dude. I wish I would have done tournaments back when I was hella good at it, because I probably could have got something out of it, to be honest. I was really, really good. Injustice 2 had a couple characters I really liked. Red Hood's super fun, but not as good at that one, and I haven't played them super recently. But speaking of which, they might as well do something topical. Have you seen anything on this DC multiversus?
Oh no, I hope that they're not doing that.
Oh,
again.
it's confirmed. It's happening.
Oh jeez, I felt okay about DC versus Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that was fine. That was back in 2009. I had that 2010. I had that game. I played it a little bit.
Flash was
right.
so cheap. Flash was such a
cheap there's certain characters, like in the first Injustice, Scorpion, who was a guest character in that one. He had this move where he'd teleport behind, and then he'd show up behind you every time. Now, that was a hack when you're a noob, but as soon as you are an experienced player like what I was, I would make them pay for it every time. I'm like, I knew it was coming, so all you have to do is just continue moving forward, so it has the block mechanism going the other way, and then I hit them with like a 30 hit combo every time they did it.
30. This man is obviously qualified in Injustice. But for myself, it has played a role when it comes to entertainment. I've spent a lot of time watching anime. It's also became a way of like bonding between me and one of my roommates as well, where we say, hey, you want to watch anime? We just sit here, we bond, we talk, we laugh, and we thoroughly enjoy it. We have great conversations and comfort as well. I'd say I went through one of the hardest times of my life last year. I sat here for probably 13 hours in a chair and just watched anime that had like 84 episodes. And it's just like, it was one of my things where I found comfort, and I was really kind of sad.
I've been there, man. I did the same thing with How I Met Your Mother. It's not really nerddom, but I went through, I had I think it was like a half gallon of vodka, and I was just went hard on it watching How I Met Your Mother and making myself sad. So
dude,
it'd be like that sometimes.
I was sitting there like, why is he getting all the love? The obvious love interest. Because the thing is, with MCs, the main characters in these shows, they're typically very oblivious to people that like them. Mm-hmm. So it's usually they're just like about, I'm on my journey, I want to get strong. And then it's like, people are just like, here, have sex with me. Oh wait, we can curse on this. Fuck me. Okay,
you can curse as much as you want. That's the beauty of this new podcast. I get to tell you all the fuck off. I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're listening. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in. But obsession, it is also an issue now. Like, if I find a really good one, like right now, he tries to show me a good show, one of my roommates, and he shows me the show. He's expecting we're going to watch it, and we'll watch like 3 episodes. I'm like, yeah, man, I finished it. I finished season 2, and it was great. He's like, wait, we're supposed to watch that together. Like,
it sounds like you guys are in a relationship as far as that goes, because that's a constant argument. Me and my wife don't have that come up too often, because we do have specific shows that we're like, okay, this is the ones we watch, and I have like 4 or 5 shows that I like to watch by myself, so it doesn't bother me having to wait on her or have vice versa to get some free time.
I'll sometimes just watch it all and then just act like I didn't and like act surprised. I will 100%.
Oh man, that's a boss move right there. Just don't make them sad.
Like, oh man, did you see that? Like, I will oversell it because I'm just like, oh, I had to watch it.
Yeah. Now the whole superheroes are obviously my nerddom, and that's a big part of my childhood. That's like one of the bonding experiences I have with both my brothers. That's been one of the biggest things we've ever had. We had a made up superhero group. We were called Bulletproof, BP for short, and I would help my brothers come up with characters, and I would draw them out. And then that would be the representation of what your character looks like. And we would just jump on the trampoline and do moves on imaginary villains all the time.
Yeah, no, I did.
I was a virgin till college, in case you didn't know.
Hey, man. Doesn't matter now, because you are a very strong, attractive father-to-be, and just in
a few months here.
Five more months.
Got a baby on the way. I get to find out what the baby's going to be at the end of this month. November 29th, so I'll text you as soon as I find out.
All right. I want, play a game with me with that. All right.
Okay, yeah. I won't tell you straight up. Yeah, we'll do something fun.
I'll
make sure I tell you separate, though, because we're just going to tell, a handful of people and then post it up on social media It'll be fun, though. It's exciting stuff, but yeah, it's proof that I got laid at least once, so that's cool.
See? Yeah, all I got is, pills for chlamydia. That's all I did, man. I didn't have any better proof than that. Man. I was like, no, see, this bottle, it's empty. You got it from someone else. No, I promise. She tricked me.
That's hilarious.
Not when it burns. Okay.
Okay.
It burns.
Yeah. All right. Give me a deep cut fact about your nerddom, or just something in general, so people can bring it up in like a bar setting. Just something fun, you know.
Something fun.
Something fun that most people don't know. That way they can say they listen to this podcast, and despite me talking like a super nerd, they did learn something.
Oh no, well, yeah, they learned. They learned about my coping mechanisms. Like I said, when it comes down to it, it's a side that I for sure tried to hide early on because you get picked on for it. But it's now like my pride and joy. I want to say I beat Michael B. Jordan to it.
Okay.
Where he made being a nerd cool.
But, yeah, I've been a nerd for the longest. I never tapped out on it. I didn't care that I was being made fun of. So that was just my thing. I took the punches. It's no good. Now everybody thinks superheroes are cool, which I'm glad to see, because that means there's more projects coming out, but you feel like a total hipster.
Agreed. I mean, it doesn't matter. Like, if I'm dedicated to it, I'll be watching. You come up to me at said social event, I might just be watching anime at that point. Like, I'll just put my phone down, put it in, rotate it to the side, and just start watching. Like, I've been at parties, and I'm just like, all right, now,
watching
new
anime
episodes
now.
out. New episodes out.
That's fun. Yeah. I have a comic book app on my phone that's connected to Grand Rapids Public Library. I might get you hyped to that. All you have to do is get a Grand Rapids library card, and you can jump in there. And DC's graphic novels drop the same day that they drop in like real life. They drop on the app as well, and it's all free. So I'm up on my graphic novels, dude. You got to see. I could show you sometime where I've had it for a little over a year, and I can look at my history, and I got like 12, 15 scrolls of just so many graphic novels, 200 pages a piece. I don't care. Every night before bed, I'd be reading comic books.
I do something similar like that, but I have a notepad, and it just has a bunch of sites that are porn.
Okay, yeah. That's another way to do it. Not necessarily what I do, but I can respect that for sure.
It's very interactive. I try to engage the house. I place speakers, Bluetooth all over in every room, so we all hearing it.
Yeah, I'm friends with Diddy. I've heard stories.
Oh, yeah. These are stories of me just plowing people, but that too.
All right, give him the fact though, Darius. What you got? Anything fun?
That looks my fact.
Oh, even better. All right. Well, then let's give him. That's fine with me. Now, let's do this final question here.
The final question.
Oh,
no.
I need you to tell me, this is not related to nerddom, just anything you want it to be. What gives your life meaning? I'm just curious what drives others. That's kind of what I want to know what I have to like look for in life and what makes people happy.
The things and the drive that I have in my life is honestly just to help others. That's the main reason why I work in healthcare. It's the main reason why I do comedy, because it's another way I can help other people by bringing a smile to their face. And it's just, I mean, it can be anything. I have a weird drive where I want to help people. Like one time, probably like a few months ago, I was driving home from the bar, and next thing you know, I'm just like, hey, that's weird. Why's that dude right there? And it was a guy in a wheelchair. He just tipped over on the side of the road. So he was right by the hospital. So I just like pull over to the side, like park in some weird spot I shouldn't be parking. And I like tried to help him. And I know I'm not like the strongest to pick someone up, especially if they're like of average human size. But hey, figured it out. Someone else came and helped me. We got him back in his chair. His dick hanging out, kind of weird. But
it's all right.
Yeah, it was something.
Was he packing?
He was packing.
Nice.
Oh yeah, he can make. I don't think he understands what he can do on the street instead of just that. But I think it was just, I want to help everyone in this world by some way, shape, or form, and that's always been a drive. And I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was when I dislocated my elbow and I had to go through physical therapy, and the person didn't understand how much that meant to me because I got back use and function of myself.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. It's hard to do in today's society because there's so much animosity between people that like you need some people to just kind of be out there looking out for others. So I definitely appreciate you doing that. I try and do my best, but yeah, you're a better man than me, Darius.
No, I'm all right.
Well, let's close it out then. We're sitting right about the half-hour mark. So what do you got to plug? What do you got going on, brother?
All right. Well, you can catch my podcast, Don't Argue with Idiots, on all streaming platforms. Try to release one episode a month. Right now, we just finished season 1. Next episode should be released right prior to Thanksgiving, so you got something to listen to on your trips, and you don't have to listen to the boring family that's around you. I will be doing some. Just stay tuned to Snapchat, Darius_TGOD. There I plug when I'm doing any stand up within Grand Rapids at your local bar. So you might find me on the west side, you might find me on the east side. Once again, as always, it is dairy free.
Yeah, I've seen your stand up plenty of times. I'm a big fan. I've seen you develop as a stand up comedian, and you're killing it, man. Doing it more often than me. I need to get back out there a little bit more here and there, but we'll see how it goes.
Hey, you do just fine. I can't wait so we both perform our next time.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the Radioactive Papercuts podcast. I'm hoping this podcast goes well because I'm having a lot of fun. It's not necessarily related to Marvel, but if you want to check out the Marvel Stuff podcast, go ahead and hop on. It's on all streaming platforms. And have a good one.